Hey, Michelle, what's shaking?
Hey, Lindsay, not too much. How are you?
Awesome. I'm excited to be on the show today. We're talking a little bit about business emails, and we got a question today from one of our awesome students in our business English course, Fabiana. So, big thank you to Fabiana for sending in a question.
Thank you so much. You know what, though, Lindsay, could we please start in 5 minutes? And then could you please send me some other episode ideas, please?
Oh, Michelle, you're overdoing it on please.
I'm sorry.
It sounds a little too sweet, right? Like it's a little too much, too much.
Little
So,
too much. I'm overdoing.
tone it down.
Okay. I'll try. So, Lindsay, that is what the question is about. Guys, we're going to be talking about the word please today, specifically really dealing with emails. So, guys, if you want to look for other episodes we may have done dealing with this word, but this is about emails. This is answering Fabiana's question. So, we really sticking with that today.
Yeah. I mean, we did do a whole module in our business English course about email writing, right? Writing reports, writing emails.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, if you want to see that, get some templates, go over to allearsenglish.com/business and check out that course. So, Michelle, should I go ahead and read Fabiana's question?
Sure. Let's go for it.
All right. Hi, Lindsay. I just heard the episode about the use of thank you in advance, which was 1726, by the way, guys. This was an alert for me because I use it often. And in my mind, I was always being kind. I've never wondered about the other side. From now on, I will pay more attention to deciding when to use it. Still talking about email, I'd like to know your opinion about the use of please. I tend to use please more than one time in an email, especially when I'm talking asking for more than one thing, even when I'm asking that even when what I'm asking about is related to the person's job. Okay. So she's saying, even if she's asking for something that the person is required to do. Right. Okay. Sometimes I use please at the beginning and use bullets to ask ask for what I need. But sometimes for some reason, this is not possible. So my question is, how can I be kind when I'm asking people to do something via email without overusing please? Thank you. Fabiana, business English course. Awesome. Fantastic question. I know that Fabiana does business in English every day, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So she's in a very key position where English is very crucial for her and for so many other listeners we have, right? For their career.
Right. Exactly. So this is a great question. So Fabiana is using English all the time in business. So guys, she's going to ask questions that are very important for the real work world. So thank you for that question. Yeah, that's a great one. And guys, remember, like we said, to listen to that other episode 1726 if you want to learn more about what Fabiana was referring to. So we're going to get started on this, but guys, we want to remind you that if you want to get your business English level, head on over to allearsenglish.com/work quiz. Is that right, Lindsay?
That's right, Michelle. That is a great way to figure out what business English level you are at, right? Do you know the idioms that you need? And if you don't, what can you do to start to learn those? Okay. So go over there, allearsenglish.com/work quiz.
Awesome.
So what do you think, Michelle? I mean, what's your first reaction? Is it possible to overuse the word please, especially in an email, business email?
Yes, I definitely think it would be possible to overuse the word please. I think it's possible to use thank you, just like these words that show it shows that we're almost trying too hard to be polite. And while it's nice and very important to be polite, if you use, I mean, really, this goes for so many things or most things in speaking or writing, like anything. It can always be too much, right?
Sure. If you repeat anything, more than X number of times within X number of words, it's going to sound unnatural and a little annoying. Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to
I think we've talked about like sorry and things like that before, right? Like, things like people, I think it's common to want to overuse the excuse me, sorry, please, thank you, these like special words. You don't know, should you say it, but it can be too much. So yeah, that's what I think. I mean, Fabiana says she uses it more than once in an email or in bullet points. So like, it sounds like she might say like, please, and then like write like a few things.
Yeah. I mean, the other danger of overusing please, just broadly speaking, before we get more into it, is that it becomes meaningless. Anything that you overuse becomes completely meaningless. So when you really do want to have a big ask, we're really big on that phrase, have a big ask, it's not going to mean anything to your coworkers, right? If you've been saying please 10 times in each email before.
Right.
So
right. Exactly. So use it when it really matters.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think you can use it more than once, right? But just like make sure it's separated. I think maybe more than twice is a little much, but if you say, please, do this and please do that. Like that's definitely too close. Don't you think, Lindsay?
Yeah, I do. I think pairing please and thank you, going back to our old, P's and Q's, right? What we learned when we were kids, like though that works well. Right. But, it ends up being repetitive. I wish I could see the emails that she's talking about. You know, maybe Fabiana, you could bring your emails into our Facebook group for the business course.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Right. Ask some questions. Let us know, so we can really understand exactly what you mean. But there is a way to be concise here and pair it with other things. Like, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oops, sorry, guys. I gotta turn that down. So exactly. So again, I think that you can use it more than once. Just make sure it's separated. Maybe one please and then another please later in the email, or maybe somewhere towards the end. Yes. So if it is a part of the person's job, right? Do you have to say please?
I mean, I think maybe we might disagree a little bit here. I think it's still good to say please. It does sound very kind of formal in a way to say please, but it's still good, even if it's part of the person's job. If you're like, let's say you're putting in an order, you work in a hospital, putting in an order for blood work, right? Maybe I have no idea how this gets done, but saying, please run this blood work. Even if it's their job and they work in the lab, I feel like that's okay. What do you think, Michelle? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think it's completely necessary for everything you ask someone to do all the time. Again, because I think that can be overdoing it. But I mean, it's nice to want to be nice.
Of course.
But it's just if for every single time you use it, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it's better to err on the side of more. Please don't get us wrong here, Fabiana. It's better to err on the side of more use of please than less, right? Right. You build a relationship with your colleagues, but at some point we look at our writing and we say, am I overusing this thing? Is this just too much? Is it becoming redundant? Right. So, I mean, the point is we want our listeners to have more expressions, right, Michelle? More ways to say this. Yeah.
Exactly. So how can you kind of say please or be polite without saying please all the time?
Without saying please. I love that. That's the way we're describing today's episode, is
say please without saying please. Right? That's a good title.
That's a good one. Yeah. I love it. Okay. The first one, Fabiana, that you could use that would convey the sense of please is the phrase, when you get a chance. And we use this all the time. Phrases like this we use a lot in our company because we're a little more informal. What would be an example, Michelle?
When you get a chance, could you send over those numbers?
This is serving the same purpose as please. It's just not so repetitive as saying it 100 times. Right.
And I think this is still being polite, as Fabiana wants to be, right? And mentions that it would be good to still be polite, right? Because it's not saying like, do this now.
Yes, exactly. And then there's another one, if you don't mind, right? And if you don't mind, I'd love to meet with you at noon to discuss this. Also good, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or if you could something, that would be great. So
if I use this all the time. Yes. Okay, go ahead, Michelle.
If you could finish that report by 3 p.m., that would be great.
Now,
why do you use this all the time? Tell us why this is one of your favorites.
Because it feels a little, I guess leadership style is a little less like demanding, right? I'm not like, I don't want to throw out orders. So to me, that would be great. If you could do X, that would be great. Feels a little less direct and even more informal, than a little less encroaching than saying, please do this. It just feels a little more suited to my personality. And I know that our team we get stuff done. So there's no need to be demanding. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So you're able to kind of use that polite
Yes.
expression. And you could kind of switch this around. You could say, if you could blank, that would be great. Or
Sure.
it would be great if you could, whatever.
Yes. Yes. Very useful, very common, especially in modern day business, I think. Yeah.
And then should we do one more?
Sure. This is great. Here's the last one, guys. I'd appreciate it if you could. Again, very similar to that would be great.
Right. This is very similar. I'd appreciate it if you could call some of our clients for feedback today, right? Something like that.
Perfect. And I don't know. What do you think, Michelle? What else do we want to say? Do we have any things we want to go back and forth on and debate here, discuss? What do you think?
I mean, do you think that you can only, sure. Like, do you think that you can only use these expressions if you are the boss?
No, absolutely not. That's what I mean. I think anyone asking in a company for anyone else to help them with something or to send them something, you can totally use them. Absolutely. I would recommend it.
Yeah, I think, I mean, maybe like I'd appreciate it if you could, or if you could, that would be great. Like, I think like maybe some of them sound more like you're telling what to do in a nice way. But like with coworkers, this is also just business English. And we also just kind of talk like that, I think, especially in emails. Yeah.
I mean, in the end, even if you're not like in a position of power compared to the other person, like you're horizontal or whatever, you still need, like all the departments in a big company have to work together. Like you need something from that department. You have to find a way to communicate that. So today, Fabiana and our other listeners, we're giving you really good ways to basically say please without having to repeat that same word. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And another way that you can be polite, I mean, because all of these are softening, but if you want to sprinkle in the thank yous, the appreciation, right? So just overall, it doesn't have to be, like, please is not the only way to be polite, it's also with the other things, like just showing appreciation, saying thank you, asking how the person is, there are other ways to do it rather than just always say, please. I mean, can you ever what would it sound like if you didn't say please at all, do you think?
I mean, it would just be like, get me this report by Friday or do this. You do need something. So I think Fabiana is erring on the right side, right? It's better to err on the side of too much politeness than, don't get us wrong, right? It's much better to do that. You really can't be that direct. You need something there for sure.
Right. Actually, you know what it is? I think now the way that we're talking about it, it makes me, it sounds childish if you're just always like, get this, do this. I mean, and actually with my son currently, and that's what it sounds like. We're working on, no, you can't just say, oh, get that. Like, we're working on like, and it actually, it's funny how much this relates. So, Dan is always like, oh, say like, please. And I'm like, it's not that you have to say please every time. Like, he doesn't need to say like, mommy, can you please blah, blah, blah. Like, I hope I don't make this sound like it's childish.
No. I think I know what you're saying.
No one really talks like that. So to teach him to be like I'm not always
a robot.
Like, can you please do that? It's like, but you have to ask it in a certain way. You have to say, can you, or like, would you be, he can't learn that, but like the main idea is like, it's not, from what I'm learning in my personal life with my child, is that even with a child, I think you can overdo please.
Yeah, that's a good point. So what I think you're saying is that it's about the whole context of the conversation.
Yeah.
It's about, what about the reason that you need that thing from that person? How about like, what position are you in? Oh my gosh, I was up all night. I would really appreciate it if you could help me out with this. That is basically saying please, because you've offered an explanation that you're in a pinch. You've gone to this person, you're saying how it would feel if they helped you. You don't need to say please in that case. So Fabiana, it's really about the whole context, the relationship. Also, who are you calling on for these things, and how have you built that relationship up until now? That's also
exactly. Oh my gosh, so much. We get so deep on this show.
We get deep. We love it. So good. I love it. So good. So be observant. Don't be repetitive, but think about context. That's the key, right, Michelle?
Exactly. So know who you're talking to, as we always say. And, consider what would be the right way to to email them, and how you would ask, and be polite in other ways, with these other expressions, or just by saying thank you, or, sprinkling other things of being polite throughout, and in general, having good relationships with people. So
I love it. I love it. So thank you to Fabiana for the question.
Yes.
If another question has sparked in your mind due to this episode, especially if it's a business English question, we love getting into the nitty gritty about this kind of business stuff, right? There's a lot more to talk about. So send your questions to Lindsay at allearsenglish.com, and we will do our best to answer your question on the show. Right, Michelle?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, this was fun. Thanks, Fabiana. And please listen to the next episode.
Please.
Please, pretty please. Yeah.
All right, Michelle, I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.